Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is April the 25th. I've been on the phone with Ukraine for a significant part of this afternoon, talking about the war, the front lines, but also very intently talking about the Witkoff meetings and what is unfolded in Moscow today. So we're going to jump right in. Thank you for being here, sharing. Yes, the thumbnail is bold, but I stand behind it 100%. And I'm going to prove to you in just a minute why Putin is in control, absolute control, and how inept the Trump administration is in negotiating there in Moscow. It is an absolute disaster. It is a tragedy. And the video I'm going to show you is going to prove to you why. No question. Putin's in control of this situation. Today, you can see here is the handshake that happened, but I actually had the video of when Witkoff is walking in. They're speaking in English. It's subtitled, and you need to hear this. We're going to jump right in. Thank you for being here, sharing, liking, and commenting. I look forward to reading the comments and replying. The bottom line is I stand firmly behind the title and the thumbnail, and this is why. Here's the video.
How are you, Mr. President?
Fine, just fine, thank you.
How are you? So good to see you.
Interpreter? From the embassy. Okay.
All right, there you have it, guys, and I hoped you caught it. I'm going to play the video again, and I'll talk over top of it. I'll put it into a picture-in-picture view, but the reality is Witkoff walks in speaking English, smiling. It's nice to see you, Mr. President. It's very nice to see you. Putin walks him over, sits him down at his seat. Do you notice that Witkoff is completely alone? There's nobody. He doesn't have an interpreter. He's sitting across the table from Vladimir Putin, from Ushakov, and from Kirill Dmitriev. He is... Okay, what a joke. And then he turns and he looks and points and says, "Are you my interpreter?" And Dmitriev says, "Oh, yeah, she's from the embassy. She's your interpreter." Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak Russian, working on the Ukrainian. Let me tell you something. You do not go to any meeting that is probably one of the most high-level meetings on the globe right now in regard to the war in Russia and Ukraine. And you're supposed to be the representative, and you do not have your own personal trustworthy interpreter. It tells you everything you need to know 100%. Putin is in control. Look at this. He's walking in.
How are you, Mr. President?
How are you, Mr. President?
How are you?
Oh, very fine. Thank you.
So good to see you.
So good to see you. It's always good to see you, too. Here's your seat. Now look, watch him point. Watch him point. Are you my interpreter? Dmitriev. Yeah. She's your interpreter. She's from the embassy. Look who he's sitting across from. He's by himself. Okay. He is sitting across from Putin, Ushakov, and Dmitriev by himself with his little notebook and his interpreter that has been provided for him. He has no clue who that is. I stand 100% behind the title and the thumbnail, everything. Putin's in control, and there is the proof of it. The Peskov report was happening during the meeting. So Zarubin, who is Putin's personal reporter, and then Peskov, who is the spokesperson for President Putin and the office of the Kremlin there. He's reporting actually during the meeting. So funny. Yes, I have it for you. Here you go. You've got to see it. And once again, just listen.
Kremlin's first building. This is the entrance to the president's office. Negotiations are ongoing behind closed doors. Only Putin, Witkoff, Ushakov, Dmitriev, and 2 interpreters are inside. Many leaks suggest Witkoff brought a plan they're discussing. But these are just leaks. Trust only official info, which is scarce. We've learned some details for you. Putin and Witkoff last met just 2 weeks ago. Only 14 days later, they meet again. Is this shuttle diplomacy? It is indeed shuttle diplomacy. These are mediation services provided by the U.S. Witkoff brings Trump's messages and takes Putin's back. Talks with Witkoff take hours, as you can see. It's a good chance to convey our stance to the US. Next question. Today's likely Moscow attack, seemingly by Kiev forces again. How much does this hinder normal negotiations? Kiev's regime just shows its true colors again. Kiev continues terrorist acts in our country. It shows we must stay alert, despite peace talks. Thank you very much. Absolutely correct.
So there you have it. And I know you caught it all. So, this is the office right behind that door. They're having the mediations and the negotiations. And the only people in there is Witkoff and his interpreter that was provided for him, and Putin, Ushakov, Dmitriev, and their interpreter. And listen, they don't even need an interpreter because they all speak English just as well as Witkoff does, but they utilize it, of course. And then the narrative switches to trust only secure information. Don't trust the scarce information, because the truth is hard to find, and we'll provide it to you. It's scarce. It's very difficult to find. And then just by sheer timing, this happens. Trouble in paradise. It is reported and now confirmed that a high-ranking Russian military officer, deputy chief of the main operations directorate of the general staff of the Russian armed forces, Yaroslav Moskalik, was killed in a car explosion in the Moscow region. It is confirmed 100%. It's big news out there. But isn't it interesting, the timing? Ukrainian analysts saying, I have no doubt that they will blame the GUR, the Secret Service, the Special Services of Ukraine. But there could well be internal squabbles happening inside Russia as well. But regardless, they're going to blame Ukraine for it. And then we see Peskov doing that exactly, blaming Ukraine for that attack. Trouble in paradise. Interesting timing, though, isn't it? While Witkoff is meeting, this guy is blown up. You can't make this stuff up. Now, after the meeting, the guy on the right, he has been the advisor for foreign policy to Vladimir Putin for over a decade. His name is Ushakov, and he is absolutely pure KGB, Soviet Union. I mean, old school. He made the statement today that the meetings were successful to bring the positions of Russia and the USA further closer. This is what he said. Now, what he does is he does it the old Soviet way. He gets on a phone call, and as he makes the call and gives the report, there's no video. But I have the phone call, and you can listen to him right now reporting about the meetings. Just listen.
Steve Witkoff visited Moscow on April 25th. This is his fourth visit to our country. Steve Witkoff was received in the Kremlin by Russian President Vladimir Putin. A 3-hour conversation took place, which was constructive and very useful. This talk allowed to further align the positions of Russia and the U.S. not only on Ukraine, but also on other international issues. Regarding the Ukrainian crisis, they discussed resuming direct negotiations between representatives of Russia and Ukraine. Symbolically, today's meeting took place on the 80th anniversary of the historic meeting of Soviet and American troops on the Elbe. As is well known, this meeting symbolizes the military alliance of our two countries in the fight against Nazism.
You can hear it right there, ladies and gentlemen, bringing the narrative right back. This meeting between Witkoff and Putin today, symbolically on the same day, 80 years later from when the Americans and the Russians, the Soviet Union met in the spring of 45, April the 25th, American forces continued to push German army eastward. It was only a matter of time before they made contact with the Russian army, and the first meeting documented took place on the Elbe River near the town of Strehla on April the 25th, 1945. There's a picture, and he is recalling that because together Russia and America was fighting against Nazism. And this is the narrative that is being wound up between the Kremlin and the White House, and it is absolutely disgusting. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You have Witkoff with the subtitles. That doesn't even have his own interpreter. You've got Peskov talking about the attack that happened. You can see the Kyiv regime working, but this shuttle diplomacy is working great, but only listen to trusted sources. And then you hear Ushakov himself talking about, it was a great meeting. We're making great progress in the direct connections in figuring out the world and Ukraine and other topics between the United States and Russia. And it's so symbolic that 80 years ago, we were fighting Nazism together as we are today. That is their viewpoint. And there's no question, 100%. The video proved it. Witkoff alone, not even having his own interpreter, sitting in front of Putin, Ushakov, and Dmitriev. Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's bringing a knife to a gunfight. Of course, it's not a gunfight if you're in agreement already in the room. It is absolutely disgusting what we are witnessing. And as Pete said, I am ashamed of the West, and I'm an American, and I'm very ashamed of Donald Trump, the White House, the leadership of the United States in regard to Russia and Ukraine. It's a tragedy, but we fight on. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting. Thank you to our moderator team. Join our Discord, all of those things. We're growing. And yes, we made it over 50,000 subscribers. And now let's keep pushing. Push on to 100 now. Thank you. Together, we share the truth. Be blessed. We'll be back at you later.